Harry Gesner is a name that resonates with innovation, passion, and an unwavering dedication to pushing the boundaries of architectural design. Born in Los Angeles in 1925, Gesner's story unfolds like a work of art with a bunch of crazy twists and turns that shaped him into a true icon in the world of architecture.
I had an uncle who told me that I had no talent at all, and he was an architect. So I was determined from that point on that I was going to be an architect.
Today we have an exciting episode because not one, but two of Harry Gesner's most iconic homes have hit the market for sale. These places are seriously one of a kind, or I guess two of a kind. We've got to check out the listings together. A little more backstory on Harry though. First, he grew up in Southern California, and from a young age he was really big into both surfing and water skiing. And by the age of 17, he ended up enlisting in the US Army, and it wasn't long before he was sent to 1st Infantry at Omaha Beach in Normandy. I cannot imagine being on the front lines on D-Day, especially for such a young guy like Gesner. I mean, this was considered the bloodiest single day in the history of the US military, but what's crazy is that Gesner actually said if he hadn't been surfing his whole life, there is no way he would have made it out of that day alive. Gesner ended up being discharged from the Army later that year after being badly injured in the Battle of the Bulge, and after hopping around a bit between New York, Mexico City, and LA, plus settling down to study architecture at Yale University under Frank Lloyd Wright, he ended up back in Santa Monica, which is when he really kicked off his career. By the 1950s, Gesner was already making a name for himself with a couple of really crazy projects. The first that we're going to talk about today is called the Wave House. This home is sitting literally right on the water in Malibu and makes for probably one of the more unique homes in Malibu ever built. Like you guys can see here, it's basically sitting on a cliffside looking over the Pacific Ocean. He said that when he was first commissioned to design a house for this lot, he spent 2 days just bobbing around in the surf in the front of the building site.
I designed sitting on a surfboard out there by that rock, and I drew it with a grease pencil on the board itself.
The end result is this really unique jagged roofline that kind of resembles a bunch of cresting waves. Come on, how cool is that? This house has never been for sale in the open market as far as I can tell, but it just hit the market for almost $50 million. The place has 6 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, and about 6,500 square feet. Of course, the description calls it an architectural masterpiece and one of the most iconic properties on the California coast. It does say that this home is being offered for the first time in 36 years, and the views include everything from ocean waves to distant islands and, of course, the surrounding landscape. From this angle, you can tell that on high tide, I bet you that water comes right up underneath this house, which is kind of scary if you ask me, but this place has been here forever, so obviously it's not that big of a problem. Here's the living room. So this is one of the money shots if you ask me. It's got a conversation pit, which I absolutely love these things. I think that we should bring them back, to be honest. There's the fireplace and then some great views of the water. Here's a shot of the balcony at nighttime, and I actually read that originally this house was designed with no railings, which is kind of weird, but Rod Stewart lived here for a little while, and I guess he didn't like or feel comfortable with no railings, so he asked Gesner to design him a railing detail, and this is what he came up with. You've got a set of glass French doors for the front door. Here's a little dining or breakfast nook, I guess. There's the kitchen in the back. Pretty small kitchen for a $50 million house, obviously, but we need to understand that this thing is being sold more as a architectural masterpiece and a work of art than a house. You can see from this angle that the balconies are kind of the star of the show too in this house. There's actually 4 different seating sections that are kind of facing the ocean in different directions. Unfortunately, we don't have anything else for photos on this one. I'm not gonna lie, $50 million seems a little steep. I mean, that adds up to like $7,600 per square foot, but best of luck to both the listing agents and the owner. As if one iconic listing hitting the market for sale wasn't enough, another one of Gesner's iconic properties is now on the market as well. This one happens to be right next door to the Wave House and is called the Sandcastle. Sandcastle was actually Harry Gesner's personal residence, which was finished in 1974, and supposedly this one was built in order to fulfill a promise that Gesner made to his 4th wife. It's every bit as cool as the Wave House with a unique cylindrical shape sitting right on the beach, basically right up against the water at high tide. This home is made from salvaged materials including telephone poles, aqueduct pipes, a high school gym, public bathrooms, and windows and doors that were saved from an old silent film theater. The sandcastle appears to be a lot smaller than the Wave House. The square footage isn't listed, but it's a 6-bedroom, 6-bath, and the price is definitely a lot smaller. It's $27.5 million. The listing description calls it a dream place built with love. It says that Gesner was determined to build a home that would fulfill what turned out to be a lifelong philosophy. You have to have a view. You want perspective to your life. And then he says that the spirit in the design and materials are what you immediately feel in this house. All people who enter and spend a brief period or a long time here immediately feel at home and relaxed. Sounds like a pretty awesome place to live. From this outside drone shot, you can see the unique shape to this place. It's got these unique shaped windows on top and then this little staircase that takes you right down to the beach. Here's another angle that just shows how close to the ocean it is, and it shows the roof line. Really unique. It's kind of like a hut on top of a hut. This top section almost looks like a lighthouse. Here's the front door. Pretty modest entry. A lot of wood and natural material everywhere. And check out the seat from your back patio. No railing or anything. It's just looking right out over the water. You're literally a rock throws away. So here's the living room. Obviously you got that circular shape going on in here. Tons of glass with this big arched fireplace in the back. Here's if you're looking the other direction. I really like all the wood detail on the ceiling, and there's the front door over there on the left. You got a little reading nook. Here's the dining room table, and you got some stained glass windows off this room. And how about that kitchen? You got a circle island, I think a pizza oven over here, and then some bar seating both on the left and the right side of that oven. Here's another reading nook or office area. In one of the bedrooms, based on the window in the back, I'm guessing this one is upstairs, and it's pretty unique. I mean, just all the curves in this room, it had to have been a nightmare for the contractors to build this place, but you've got the bathroom that's kind of just like right there in the open in the middle of the room. And then here's another angle of that room, but sitting like where the bed would be. So you're looking at the fireplace, a peek of the ocean, and then look at this staircase. I'm pretty sure that staircase takes you up to this little art studio area. Here's a little side yard and what looks like a guest house in the back, actually. And hey, even though this is a unique and old home, it even comes with a 2-car garage.
I think the house had spots where it should be fun, and also mystery, and also drama, excitement. If you get that all into a house, it never gets tiresome.
There's a bunch of other epic homes that Harry Gesner designed over the course of his career. Eagle's Watch is one of them. This one's actually listed on Airbnb right now for about $1,000 a night. You can see this place is right off Pacific Coast Highway, and it's also another unique shape, so it's filled with a bunch of unique shaped rooms, unique shaped windows, and unique shaped furniture. But the rooms are all a good size. It's got ridiculous views of the water in every direction, and the place actually has quite a bit of privacy as well. Another awesome one is called the Cole House. This one was built in 1950. And it's located right off the Sunset Strip. And the architecture here you can see is just as unusual as the other houses. It's got some pretty wild roof pitches. The kitchen is super funky. The primary bedroom, like the others, has its own fireplace. It's got a triangle-shaped swimming pool. There are some very unique spans of windows. And also, just like the others, the views are great. They're not of the ocean, but they're pretty amazing. From these beachfront homes that are kind of precariously perched over the waves to the hillside homes that kind of defy gravity, Gesner's creations are cool because they do seem to always challenge conventional wisdom, but they also end up being totally livable and functional houses. It looks like he worked and surfed until his 80s before he ultimately passed away at the age of 97. Hats off to Harry Gesner for having the guts to build some really architecturally unique and special homes. Best of luck to the listing agents in selling these homes. I'll see you guys next time.